Guys, today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to write the ultimate resume as a teenager with no experience. This is going to be the perfect thing that employers are looking for, particularly in Australia, but I reckon it's pretty similar in most countries. So yeah, make sure to go subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get into how to write a resume so you guys can get your dream job. Let's go. So first up, I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what a resume is and what employers are most looking for in your resume. So a resume is just an A4 page or a few pages that gives a sum up of who you are, what you want to do, why you want to be employed, and why they should employ you. As a junior and someone without much experience, employees are mainly going to be looking for someone who is trustworthy, someone who is polite, well-dressed, well-mannered, and can speak clearly and is punctual and reliable. So you want to make sure that all of those things are said on your resume somewhere. Make sure to stay tuned till the end and I'll tell you guys what to do once you've written your resume and made it so that you can actually get jobs, and what to do with your resume. So I would definitely recommend using Canva or Word as templates. You can look up, in both of them have little search bars, and you can look up resume, and they're going to give you guys suggestions of good resume layouts and formats, and I would definitely recommend using one of these. I use one off Canva. Then you can just save and download it from there. It definitely makes it a lot easier, and it has a clear, nice layout and just looks really nice to read. Before you do that though, I definitely recommend writing out all the information. If you just try and change the information and make it yours, you're going to compare yourself to their information and you're not going to get the right information onto the sheet. So I definitely recommend writing out what you want to put on first and then going and finding one of those later and kind of puzzle piecing it together. Okay, so the first thing you want to have is your name. You want to have this super big and bold at the top. Next to your name or somewhere around that, you want to have a photo. And I know some resumes don't have photos, but I would definitely recommend a photo. Employers are going to have, let's say, 100 resumes and they only need like 5 juniors. They don't really want to read all that information, 100 pages of information. Whereas if there is a really nice, friendly photo of someone who has their hair done, looks clean, looks neat, looks like they're friendly, they've got a big smile and like eye contact with the camera, they're instantly going to be like, okay, well, let's read this one. And that way, yours is at least going to get considered a lot more and not just dumped. So the next is make it clear what you want to apply for. If this is your first resume, you're probably applying for a Christmas casual, a casual, or part-time. So write that under your name, just a few fonts smaller. When they're looking at which stuff they want to get, that'll make it super clear of what your intentions are. And then of course you want to add contact information up the top there so that if they actually like you, they can contact you and offer you the job. So you want to have your phone number and your email. Make sure these are right, because if these aren't and they hire you and they can't get onto you, you're not going to get the job. So make sure that you have those really clear at the top. A lot of the templates will also have location. A lot of those templates were made a few years ago, and to be honest, I would not recommend putting your location or at least your exact home address on all of your resumes if you're going to be handing them out to everyone. If they want to give you an interview or something, they're not going to send you a letter. They're going to email or text you. So next up is the juicy information. So first up, you're going to do a quick summary of who you are. Just be a small little paragraph, and I recommend writing this in first tense, if that's the way it is. Like, hi, I'm B Grace, I'm 16 years old, and I'm looking for a Christmas casual role. You can say when you're available, such as, my holidays start December blank, and I'm happy to work from then up until Christmas, although before that date I can only work on weekends or Thursday nights. Then maybe just give a few more words of who you are, like, I'm super friendly and hardworking and can't wait to hopefully get the opportunity to work with you. And that's about it for the summary. So next up is your education. For your first resume, you probably don't have a uni degree or anything, so is your high school. This is basically all that's really necessary. If you've been to like 2 high schools in the last 2 years, add both of them, but there's no need to add your primary school or anything. So you want to have the title education, then under that you want to say high school ... your school's name, and then give the years that you went there. For example, 2018 to present. Underneath that, you want to give some information, kind of show off about your grades maybe. If you're a straight A student, let them know that. If you're doing an accelerated course, let them know that. If you want a scholarship, let them know that. As long as the information is true, I think try and show off as much as you can. For this information, you can totally put this in dot points. I think employers actually prefer reading dot points. It is a lot more clear and just summarizes the information. So again, they don't have to read through 100 pages of full paragraphs because they are not going to do that. Next section is experience. So if this is your first resume, you probably won't have much experience, which is totally understandable, especially if you're going for a junior role. They're not gonna expect you to have too much experience. But if you have worked at your parents' shop or something, definitely add that in. If you have got experience, the way to write it is you experience as your main title, then say what your role was. For example, retail junior. Then you want to say where you worked and the year you worked there. And then under that, you dot points about what the role was and what your position was there. If you haven't had any job experience, you still want to show them that you have experience in things that an employer would be looking for, and you can say this through volunteer experience. Even if you have already written down work experience, still write volunteer, or if you haven't done work experience, write volunteer experience as your main title. Then underneath that, you want to say your examples of what you've done. If you haven't done any volunteering, I definitely recommend you do something to volunteer. So for example, I said tutoring, the year I tutored and the organization I tutored at. Then again, I did dot points and gave a little bit more information, kind of summing up what I did, and then skills you gained from doing that will help you in the workforce. So for example, I say clear communicating, active listening, working closely with different personalities, and patience. So next section is professional skills and skills that will help you in the workplace. For mine, I said retail service, cashier using a till, respectful, friendly, hardworking, ability to work in a high-paced environment, trustworthy and punctual and reliable. If they just see a few of those and if they're looking for some specific ones, that'll instantly help them and they're going to be drawn to that. For this, there's so many words you could use, but find the best ones you think do truly relate to you and working. The next thing to add is achievements. This is definitely a big section for juniors because you can really show off a little bit and it will be able to show your commitment and things you do. So I would definitely recommend adding this section. For this, what you want to do is just dot points and you want to say what you won. For example, I said 5th in state sports aerobics and then did brackets 2021. And you want to do it all going down in descending order. So I started with 2021 and I went down to the things. They see that you've won things in sports, that's instantly showing that, oh, you're involved in this. Mine instantly shows I'm involved in sports aerobics and I'm involved in basketball quite strongly. Definitely recommend doing Duke of Ed if you want to buff up your resume because that instantly shows so many things. So already they can see that I have a lot of commitment and a lot of perseverance to be able to have achieved that. That is basically all I wrote on my resume and all I would really recommend writing on yours apart from references. So if you guys have some really good references, I guess you could add them on the next page, but I just said references available upon request. This way you can get old employers or people or family friends who are in high up positions to kind of recommend you and tell them a little bit about you so that they know it's coming from a trustworthy source. Similar kind of thing you could do is add one of your comments from your report. Okay, so I recommend quickly rewatching this video and just jotting down all the titles and what you kind of want to write. And then you want to go get a Canva or a Word document open and kind of start puzzle piecing that in. Then make sure the format is all really nice and it's all lined and straight and works. And that's basically it, and you have your resume. So like I said at the beginning, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what to do once you've written your resume. So now that you have your resume, what can you do with it? I recommend using sites such as Seek and Indeed, and these are going to help you find jobs. So you can write into them keywords such as Christmas casual and also your location, and they'll come up with all the job opportunities that are available. And then you can press on those and fill in the forms. Or go to stores and hand in, I think if you're handing it in person, it just has that little bit extra-ness. And yeah, just say, hey, can I hand in a resume? Or hey, can I speak to your manager? And if the manager's not in, just hand it to the girl and they'll be able to put it away for the manager to look at. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe, and comment down below any other questions you have about resumes and I'll try and answer them. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!
It was cold at night.